Maniacs, it's time for another spooky video. And for tonight's spooky video, I'm going to be talking all about this spooky photograph that was captured at a wedding anniversary of this demon dog-like creature. So it all began in 2007 when a couple by the names of Joe and Patty Martinez were attending a celebration for their friend's wedding anniversary. One of their friends at the party decided to take a photograph of the couple. At the time, they were the only two that were standing in the area where the photo was taken. Once the photos were developed, the couple were stunned to see a demonic dog-like creature leering over Joe's shoulder. The entity looked as if it was half dog, half demon, and it was not present whenever the photo was taken. The couple, along with their friends, would attempt to come up with a rational explanation as to what was actually captured in this photograph. However, they could not come up with anything. It remained a mystery for years. At the time of the party, Joe Martinez was heavily battling a very bad drug addiction. This addiction was said to have been going on for years prior to the party, and Joe was actually keeping this a secret from his friends and his family. He would struggle silently. He claimed that this addiction was driving him mad and was soul-destroying. Despite what he was going through mentally, Joe and Patty still showed up in support of their friend's wedding anniversary. They would stand and pose happily for the photo, but upon closer inspection, they would see the demonic entity hovering over Joe's shoulder. And it's important to note that there were no animals, specifically no dogs, present at this party. Also, I'd like to point out that even if there were dogs present at this party at the time, how is it possible for a dog to stand up on its hind legs behind a man and hover over its shoulder like that? Like, it's physically impossible for a dog to do that. The couple grew to be convinced that the entity which was behind his shoulder in the photo was in fact a demon, or that it could have possibly been Satan himself. It's believed that this demon showed itself to try and keep Joe in his addiction. And Joe took this as a sign to battle against his addiction and also pictured it as the good and evil within him. Patty being his good side and the demon dog being on his bad side. Ultimately, the photo and the demon dog which was within it helped Joe to overcome his drug addiction, and he would go on to live a happy life. Joe still to this day keeps the photo in his wallet and carries it around with him at all times to remind him of the darker times and what he had overcome. Many who have studied this photograph have come to the belief that it is a hellhound. And if you guys don't know what hellhounds are, I made a video all about them in the past, and I will link it somewhere in this video for you guys to see if you haven't. But hellhounds can often be an omen of death, which led many people to believe that Joe was close if he continued down the path that he was on. The creature appears over Joe's left shoulder, which hints that it was a more sinister presence. It's said that anything over your left shoulder is something evil, something bad. And some people believe that the photo is nothing more than overexposure, which is actually quite common in older photographs. Others believe that it is possible that the photo was actually tampered with and possibly even photoshopped. Even more interesting is that when other family members and friends would go and take a photograph in the same area where Joe and Patty took their photograph, there would be nothing in their picture. Scientists also have studied the photo and cannot come up with a logical explanation. And personally, I believe that anyone who is struggling with something mentally like depression, some form of a mental illness, suicidal thoughts, self-harm, addiction, anything of that nature, that evil entities are more present in their life, sometimes even making themselves known to the person. And whether this be causing them to have the harmful thoughts or attempting to keep them in the dark place that they're in. Now, I have talked about this a little bit on my channel before, a long time ago, and many of my new subscribers may have not even heard the story, but when I was younger, I was battling depression. I was having suicidal thoughts. I was self-harming. And one night, I was alone. I was only like 16, mind you. I was a kid. I didn't want to be alive anymore. I was hurting that bad that I just did not want to be here anymore. And I was in my room alone. Like I said, no one was home. I had it completely dark. I believe I had the TV on, but it was turned down really low. And I'm not gonna like go into details about how I was attempting to hurt myself, but I was attempting to hurt myself. I heard this creepy voice whisper in my ear. It freaked me out, dude. It freaked me out to the point where I didn't want to be alone after that for a long time. It kind of stopped me in a way from trying to hurt myself. I was still hurting for a long time. And although I still struggle every day, like, is a fight sometimes, I'm definitely not where I used to be. I'm very proud of myself for that. When I was a kid and I was being bullied, I didn't see myself making it to 13. And now here I am, 30 years old, and I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see the day. And I also wanted to mention that I've always kind of felt the same way as Joe. Like, there are two spirits which are attached to me, one being the good and one being the bad. They've always kind of, you know, followed me around throughout my life, like in the darker stages of my life. As I've gotten older, I don't know if I've became more closed off to it, or if I just, you know, I try to ignore it, or if it's just kind of faded away a little bit. I don't really experience it as often as I did when I was younger, when I was experiencing depression. I strongly believe that that entity was putting those negative thoughts in my head, trying to make me hurt myself. And thankfully, it did not succeed. I am here today. I'm still standing. Like that one song, I'm still standing. And I thought that this photo was very creepy. It reminds me of those old ghost shows I used to watch when I was a kid for some reason. I don't know why. But I personally think the photo is legit. I don't think they tampered with it, especially if he keeps the picture in his wallet all the time to remind him. I believe him. I believe his story of battling the drug addiction, you know, this entity kind of saving him. Something doesn't want me to get this message out there. I must have pissed something off. I believe that the entity kind of saved him from the drug addiction, because I've been there. I know what it's like. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of this creepy photo. Let me know if you've ever experienced anything like this before in a photograph. I would love to know in the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Become a morbid maniac. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification. That way you get notified every single time I upload a new video. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.